guy, Dr. Mike Prince, with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We are doing our little nightly action here on this YouTube channel. It is February the 4th, 2025, and we got, I guess, a little upset action in the world of Southwestern Athletic Conference basketball. There was a makeup game on today between Southwestern Athletic Conference opponents, the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, hosting the Texas Southern Tigers. Lady Tigers continue to stay hot. They go 9-0 with their 75-65 defeat over Pine Bluff. But the upset of the evening was that of the Golden Lions men's program took care of business against Texas Southern, winning by the score of 69-68. And Pine Bluff have been having some struggles, but nonetheless, they saw through it on this evening. And as a result, Texas Southern will have to come back. Now, the women will be in place on Thursday. Of course, Prairie View will be hosting FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, as well as Texas Southern hosting Bethune-Cookman and FAMU. And they'll flip-flop those things. Of course, we'll have our coverage right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network for the basketball games. We had some live basketball tonight on the high school circuit. Rose Hill Christian Eagles, they were able, on the women's side, to defeat the St. Francis Saints by the score of 72-29. However, the boys took it on the chin. They lost by the score of 59-46. I believe that final score was 59-46, 59-43. Nonetheless, they came up short on tonight. We'll have some more live coverage this Friday for Rose Hill Christian Eagle, as well as our weekend coverage for Prairie View A&M University, followed by the Monday wrap-up from the campus of Prairie View. So we got a lot of things rolling and smoothing right along. We were able to hear from Coach Van Pettaway earlier on the podcast. Of course, the podcast can be picked up by way of Spreaker or going to the website at obnradio.com. Click on the Mike Prince Show. You'll have everything up to speed as far as the latest podcast release. We are getting back up to speed with the videos on the YouTube portion, but do be patient with us and bear with us. So a lot of basketball coming. We're halfway point in the collegiate ranking, and we're coming toward the end on the high school. They're getting ready for the playoff sides on the high school side of things. So the seasons are rolling right along. Of course, baseball, softball season, moments away from taking the grand stage. We'll give you those Southwestern Athletic Conference and local high school score updates throughout the course of the baseball season. And before you know it, we'll be all the way back to football season. And speaking of football season, I found this very, very interesting, although it is not on the Swac circuit, but it is in collegiate football, and it's going to be very interesting to see if there's a new trend being set right now. Art Rule, head football coach for Nebraska Cornhuskers, made the announcement this week that he will not have a spring football game. And the reason I thought was relatively interesting, let's just put it like that. The reason that they're opting out of playing the spring game is due to the potentials of tampering with NIL deals and guys hitting the transfer portal. So Coach Rule said, you know what? We don't need our guys on film. We are going to let this thing do what it does. We're having our workouts and our practices and our training, and we'll just do what we have to do come the fall. And it's going to be very interesting to see if anyone's going to follow suit along those lines. Very, very intriguing to see what that potential outcome. Do you agree with that outcome? You kind of almost can't help it because, you know, the way everything is going right now, you've got to figure that sooner or later someone was going to do this, and the guys are getting clipped at the last moment with these NIL deals, and it's just becoming every man protecting their territory, if you would. So it's going to be very interesting to see who will follow suit with Nebraska. And speaking of following suit, I talked on the other day on how I feel that it's very imperative that if we're going to do anything to try to battle with this NIL and transfer portal, we've got to start addressing the simple things such as the cost of attendance for the student athletes. And we know that budgets are not created equal, and it's going to be easier for some than others. But from, as we mentioned the other day, this is a school mandate situation, and they're going to have to do that from the institutional level. And hopefully, you can get a little nudge from your faithful fan base when it comes to some sort of NIL package. But don't hold your breath for the NIL packages busting the seams, in particular on our levels. It's going to be very, very tough to try to find the extra dollars to get those NIL deals in place. And we are on the week of Super Bowl week, and I've been putting this thing off for a while. And I've been asking guests who do they think they want to roll with between Kansas City and Philadelphia. I don't have a dog in the hunt, but if I must pick one, I'm torn. I really am torn on this one. The reason I'm torn because I am from Missouri. You know, I'm not a Kansas City Chief fan, but they are doing some remarkable things, and no one has seen a three-peat. You know, very, very, very rare that you would see such a thing. So for that part, I am kind of hoping that they can win on that end. Then when you look at what the Eagles are bringing to the table, I like Jalen Hurts. Barkley's had an outstanding year. For Hurts' sake, to kind of get the fans off his back, you want to see him win. But I can't have both of them win, and it can't end in a tie. So I'm going to have to pick one. And I tell you what, I'm going to pick the Eagles, but I won't be surprised if Kansas City wins. And I know that sounds like I'm all over the place, and literally I am. But I think it's going to be a very competitive game. And I think what the Eagles have to their advantage is that running game with Hurst and Barkley that could keep Mahomes on the sidelines. And if you keep him on the sidelines and score, not just eat up a bunch of time, but you have to score each time you possess, make them long, methodical drives. And I think the Eagles might have enough in the tank to see this thing through. So it's going to be very, very interesting. We'd love to hear what you guys think about it. We have our 24-hour message line that you can dial in at 720-721-1558. You can dial that number anytime from anywhere and leave your questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, complaints even. 720-721-1558. I'm picking the Eagles. I'm officially on the record for picking the Eagles. And we'll see what the end is going to be. You know, and speaking of the end coming to be, I'm not a big NBA guy, but you can't tell me that there's something murky in the water with the league allowing the Lakers and Dallas to make that trade. And I was speaking with some NBA conspiracy theories. They are saying that because the rankings and the ratings have been down for the Lakers in particular, they allow this in order for, I guess, the Dream Series of back in the day with Lakers and the Celtics to be able to meet in the finals. We'll see how all this will work out. But man, what a trade. And I never can understand for the life of me how the Utah Jazz got involved with all that, but that's just the way of the NBA. Maybe you guys can help me with some comments here on the section to help explain how these teams that are nowhere involved. Why would I want to help the Lakers or the Mavericks if I'm the Jazz? I don't understand that. Maybe that's why I stick with the college stuff. But it is what it is. Davis is now a Maverick, and Luca is now a Laker. Go and figure that out. My son is extremely excited about it. He's a Lakers fan, but all that can be later. And speaking of later, I do want to remind you guys that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for things that will be coming in the future. Don't hesitate. Click that bell notification. That way you're always brought to speed of what's going on when we release everything. And please visit the website for our daily podcast at obnradio.com. Click on the Mike Prince Show, and you'll get everything that you need. Time is coming. I just wanted to get some things up to speed, let you guys know what we're doing. Don't forget, call in on that message line 24 hours a day, no matter where you're located in the country, 720-721-1558. I am going to exit stage left. My time is far spent. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, and until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.